Going live. Hey, everybody, it's showtime. Showtime, and I'm a giant nerd. All right.
Do. Oh, yeah.
Ready to go live. Hello, everybody. It's a dinosaur. His name's Rex and blah 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 bloop. Do 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 do. Yeah! This episode is sponsored by Quack Alert. They are ridiculously in love with ducks. I have no clue why. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Hey, it's Chris from the Charity Board Gamer. I'm excited because not only tonight am I going to talk to a mother-daughter duo right before Mother's Day. We're going to be talking about for the Forgotten Children's Fund, but we're also going to be talking about a young girl's journey into board gaming. And right afterwards, myself, my wife, our daughter, and our one son, we're going to be playing this live right afterwards. But I am beyond excited to have Elsa and Debra Brandt. Say hello.
Hi
Hey there.
I'm Elsa. That's my mom, Deb.
Hey, thanks for having us.
And of course,
I'm really excited.
Of course, we're in the super cool teenager room here with the. Hold on, did you change the color of the lights?
I did, yeah.
Okay, it was like purple earlier, and then I switched my screens, and now I'm seeing this like, was that like a neon style pink almost, or?
It's supposed to be red, but it might be different over the meeting. I'm not.
It's got the red. Yeah, it's got the red. It's kind of a pinkish red to my eyes. So, no. So
I'm trying to match it kind of with your background that you got going there.
Oh, there's not much. I mean, I don't have. I mean, I could switch these to like a red or a red, but it would be kind of more of a darker, kind of like an RPG feel at that point. I think it could be a little.
I think this is good. I think this is a good vibe.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Can I say that word? Is that okay?
The natural light it feels probably good. So I know that we've been talking a lot about the game, and I know we've talked about Fashion 101, which is a game. But first, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll go into the game, and then afterwards we're going to talk about the charity. I'm going to pull up the website. And also, for those of you who are watching, there will be a link once in a while that will pop up and actually tell you where you can actually click to donate to the Forgotten Children's Fund. So I'm going to let you all talk, and I'm going to just listen.
There you go.
Oh, okay. I'm Elsa. I'm from Seattle, born here, raised here. I'm in 8th grade. My favorite color is orange. I don't know what to say.
That's good.
That's pretty just.
You're the creator.
Yeah, I'm the creator of Fashion 101.
You could start there.
And I'm really into fashion. I like architecture, which is something kind of cool about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can play the ukulele.
Now that's pretty cool. What songs can you play on the ukulele?
Kind of just basic songs with kind of the same chords. There's like Riptide, House of Gold. You might not know that, kind of an undergroundish artist. older song. I don't like Happy Birthday.
Okay. I know that song. Yeah.
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 I don't know. That's like pretty much. I can play a bunch of songs. Those are the ones that I know really well.
So you say your
You-
favorite color is orange, but you switched it to red in the
I
background.
wanted to match your background. I felt very
Okay.
strongly about kind of.
Okay. Oh, I like it. I like it. I was just, it's your favorite color. I would be like, I would go bold right into oranges. I like orange and blue really go well together for
They
colors.
do.
So
I
I think
agree.
you should express yourself, Elsa.
Orange, it looks more like a white. That will me.
Oh,
It doesn't look
okay.
very.
doesn't look
You
that
can
good
put
with
it on, like,
LEDs.
constantly
I understand
rotating.
that. All right, Deborah, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Elsa's mom. Um, Also live in Seattle, born and raised here, and um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, I've got a husband, and Elsa's my younger of two daughters. I've also got a newly minted 16-year-old, so she's driving, which is interesting and a little
Scary.
horrifying. um, but yeah, I mean, I just I kind of stumbled into this, the whole gaming hobby as a result of this game that Elsa created a few years ago. We kind of put it away for a while, played it a lot, put it away for a while. Um, and then I got laid off. I've been in corporate high tech for decades.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And when COVID hit, they did a big, layoff, restructured the company. And it was actually a really good thing. I think oftentimes it is when people
Yeah.
wind up getting laid off. And I got a little bit of severance. I had a little time to kind of think about what I wanted to do next, and I wasn't quite ready to launch myself back into corporate high tech because it was a pretty stressful job. And so here we are working on a board game. Who knew? Yeah, so that's me.
Craziness. So both born and raised in Seattle. Okay, so here's a question. Best coffee out there.
Oh gosh. So people who are really into coffee are not going to like my answer because
Okay.
I'm not a coffee snob. I'm just like, I just drink what's put in front of me.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, we go to Starbucks a lot.
That's what I was gonna
It's just
say.
like,
Starbucks
That's okay.
makes
We're really close to our house, but if you're into coffee, you're probably shaking your head and probably wouldn't want to talk to me ever again.
Now I don't know who Becky is, but Becky just said Becky is here. So
He's here.
Hi, Becky.
Hey, Becky.
hello, Becky. It's good to have you.
What's your favorite coffee?
Yeah, Becky, what is your favorite coffee? We're talking about coffee tonight. Now there's nothing wrong with Starbucks. I was just curious because the Seattle area, I mean, that's where Starbucks kind of got its big break was Seattle. And so I was curious if
Mhm.
there's anything that was, that really stands out because I would love Becky says lattes, loves lattes. Not bad. Me
latte.
me I like my it's Rainbow Rabbits, Becky. Okay. Thank you. Oh, okay. Cool.
Rainbow Rabbits is, well, Becky and I know each other.
Okay. Very cool.
Super fun, very compact game.
So my favorite coffee. Have you ever done this? Avocado, where it's gelato inside of a dish, and then they pour espresso over top of it with a little, like almost like an Italian style cookie to go with it. No.
I have not, although I've heard maybe something a little stranger than that, which is people putting butter in their coffee.
I've tried it before.
Have you tried that?
Yeah,
What do you think of that?
it was different. It added a creamy texture. Like when I was doing keto, and you can tell I'm definitely not doing keto now. But when I was doing keto, that was a big thing. It's like you'd eat a lot of meats, a lot of eggs, no sugar in your coffee, no fancy creamers. You would do butter in your coffee once in a
Butter's okay.
while, which added a nice creamy flavor to the coffee. It wasn't anything great, but you got used to more and more. How did it do that? I don't know why it did that because I'm talking,
Wow.
moving my
Like,
hand. That was weird. Um, but yeah, I think with the coffee, um, it definitely made it more tolerable than drinking it just straight black. Because straight
yeah,
black coffee it's not unless it's espresso, which I can do espresso straight up. That's not a problem.
mhm.
But I think straight black coffee, it might smell good, but it does not taste that great. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm totally with you. Like, actually, the smell of coffee just reminds me of growing up. My parents always had a pot brewing, and so I have it gives me kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling when I smell it. But no, I'm totally with you. And this is probably why I like Starbucks, because for a very long time, probably longer than, a lot of other coffee shops, they've 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 got lots of options and flavors, and it's very sweet. And I can't do black coffee, which is probably why Starbucks is okay for me, because you can't really taste the coffee by the time they're done doing what I asked them to do. So I don't know. Like, I lived in Boston for a while, and there was Dunkin' Donuts, and I would just like pour the entire, like, 5 creamers in there, and then 8 packs of sugar, and I felt like I kind of needed coffee, but
you
it was
needed sugar and cream.
more like a milkshake when I was
Okay,
done with it.
gotcha.
Yeah. It
Also,
wasn't
what's
so
your
great.
favorite coffee that you get if you go when you go to Starbucks?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, um, I usually just get a iced latte at Starbucks with I like caramel syrup in it.
Okay.
I reckon,
Okay.
but it really depends on how like the size of the coffee you get. Like if I get a grande, which is like my usual size, I just put 3 pumps and it tastes
And then how many
Perfect.
sugars?
also three.
Also 3 sugars.
Very easy to remember.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
I'm a bad mom
Sugars in
because
the raw. I don't like
I
the
let her
artificial
get
sweeteners. Those are
the
gross.
stevia. Yeah, that's no good.
Oh,
That's
we
no
do.
good.
We do coffee in our house. Our kids, when we got a Keurig, like coffee was one of those things where it's like, okay, coffee. Yep, pop the thing in there, and then we would just we drink it like crazy. So, surprising enough, I don't think I've done coffee in the past week, which is, no, no, that's a lie. I had coffee yesterday. Never mind. But I did
We
not.
gotta keep our Starbucks trips to a minimum, because it really adds
Oh, it
up. But
adds
we
up. Yeah, we
we
get. I go through a brewing a person that makes their own coffee called Caffeinated Kobold, and it's he's got coffee that's themed around Dungeons and Dragons. So
Oh,
the one that I like to have down here in the studio is the Torchbearer, and it's just because of the smell. I have not opened this bag yet, but it's just a smell because you can get the aroma as soon as you like have it nearby. So it's like I'm smelling coffee all day, and I'm like, oh, I don't need to go get coffee. I
yeah,
can
you just
smell
sit
it. So
around, have that
I'm just like,
bag, and
yeah. I'm like, it's good. It's good. No. So
that's
tell us about the game because with the game you said that you all just kind of got more involved into the board game industry recently, just kind of learning more about it. What all did you play beforehand? Like what was the thing that you used to play around the table and stuff? Was it like Monopoly, Life, Scrabble, Sorry, stuff like that, or
Um,
what were some of the games?
we like I play Clue a lot. That's probably my favorite board game. My mom doesn't like it. I'm just really good at it, so she doesn't like it when I win.
well, that's not all of. Well, okay. You talk, and then I'll talk.
No, so it's like it's
You
just
go.
fun strategy, and I have a method to my
Madness.
success.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah. And it kind of takes people have different strategies for that game, but mine just very consistent, very accurate. But I think what really inspired Fashion 101 when I made it, I think it was like apples to apples.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 10, I did not play Cards Against Humanity, so
That's
not
good. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
It
Don't.
still doesn't.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Mm-mm.
It's never
No,
happened.
I mean
No.
I'll leave this at that. Cards Against Humanity can be a fun experience maybe once, and then I think after you've experienced it once, you can be like, okay, that was good, and that's just my honest opinion. Other people might like it, and that's good for them, but for me, I don't need all the crass humor,
Mhm.
especially if you're like, Oh, let's have some people over from church. Hey, do you want to play Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah,
This looks
not
like a fun game. Let's go ahead and play this. And then you're like 5 cards in, you're like,
um, yeah, well, I
yeah,
came to learn that a few years ago, that kids were bringing them to slumber parties. That was
yeah.
my first kind of introduction to the game, and it was actually, I don't know, I could go off on a tangent about it. There's kind of a funny story about it. I like someone brought it, I found it, and I thought I was being super discreet, and I gave it back to the girl that I thought brought it, and so I gave it
Oh,
sort of like a very discreet little paper bag, and I'm
Hmm.
like, "Here you go, like, hope that was fun," and she was just kind of like, "What?"
No.
So it turns out that it was my husband's because he had been given it as a we had never like pulled it out as a
Mhm.
family, but like somehow my 16-year-old found it. So
But she wasn't 16.
it wasn't the
right?
no, she wasn't 16.
Yeah.
That's but the anyways, enough.
Wild stuff. Wild stuff.
Well,
So,
people have very mixed feelings about that
Yeah.
game, and it's anyways. So
yeah, I think it's to each their own. There's other games that, of course, that are just wrong in so many levels that for some reason they still get published. But like Cards Against Humanity is one of those games where it's like you have to have the type of audience that will enjoy it. And in most situations, the audience that I have, whether it be here on screen or in my home, they're not usually jumping towards it. I mean, there's a lot of other fun games,
yeah,
and if you're gonna have adult humor, there's more tasteful adult humor games that are out there. Like
games out there.
I think
Yeah.
I think a great game that we like is Trial by Trolley, which is that kind of trolley theater theory of which of the two
Mm.
evils will you let live, so to speak. So it's
Oh,
an interesting thought.
okay.
So you were
Sort of like
talking,
moral relativism kind
yeah,
of thing.
Wait, what's
yeah,
Yeah.
it called?
Trial by
Trial by Trolley. So would you let the New England Patriots get hit by the trolley, or
right,
would you let Robo Hitler get hit by the
right,
trolley? So you have to
right.
think about this. This is serious discussion because I
Yeah.
mean, this is the New England Patriots. So
Yeah. Yeah, people are very, very passionate about the Pats.
yeah, but at the same time, the same track that the Robo Hitler or the bad guys on is also the same track where little Billy will one day grow up to cure cancer. He's also on that track.
Oh
That
Yeah,
yeah,
makes it
how
so hard.
I
yeah.
know, but also then let's say this, then all of a sudden on that same track though is Nickelback. So I mean, I
What's
I mean you've got to
no.
you've got to kill him.
Oh, okay. I was
They're
like,
they're
who's
really
that?
they're really horrible band. No, no.
Yeah.
Now okay. So
I think
Elsa, real
oh,
quick, 5 seconds of summer is. Do you like that at all? My daughter's into that. So
5 seconds of summer.
It's a boy band.
I don't know. Are
Uh,
they a boy band?
5 SOS.
Oh,
Yep. I have never been a big boy band person.
okay.
I think one of their songs though I liked for a good chunk of time, but I'm not like I don't really worship the band. It's not like
I realized I started listening to them to the other day because we have a family Spotify playlist. So now I'm hearing
Mhm.
my teens' music, and I'm like, it's okay. Like she
yeah.
actually got me hooked on Taylor Swift at one point. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm a Tay Swift fan. I like to shake
He
it
just
off once
released
in a while.
new music. Did you know?
What
All kinds of
He
music.
has a new album.
she does? Oh, is that
Yeah.
that folklore, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
that's the one that she
I
did
don't,
during COVID. So
I'm not a big fan of it, but
I haven't gotten into that yet, but I heard Disney Plus has a good series on it, so I have to check it out later because I think it's the whole recording sessions that she did. So I'm guessing
Uh,
that she made lots of money from Disney to do the recording session, and then she's making lots of money from the album. That's genius. Um,
well, she's re-recording all of her original songs because the um the record company, and I can't remember who signed her, but there's something about the contract that Taylor Swift and I think a lot of other people feel are just incredibly unfair to her in terms of royalties,
oh yeah,
and going back into the studio and re-recording everything
Is she getting
and
rid of the original
re-release it.
songs? Or
Well,
is it
she
just,
can't
like,
get rid of what's out there, but she's gonna
Right.
probably make everything like way better, so nobody buys the first album, right, or
Yeah.
the originals, and people buy her music,
that
and
makes
then she'll negotiate something, you know, that's more favorable to her, which she should, because she's super talented.
So next up, Elsa. So you were telling us that you kind of got the inspiration from Apples to Apples. You were playing that once in a while. So what was the idea behind it? What made you say I want to do a game about fashion where it's something where tweens and teenagers and younger audience can be able to just kind of enjoy this game in a different style. What made you decide that?
Yeah. So, well, I'm gonna start kind of in the general beginning. So
That's a
I
very good
was
place to start.
exactly right.
Isn't that a song?
Sound of Music.
Yep.
Okay. So I was out at my cabin, which is in Eastern Washington, and it has no electricity, no Wi-Fi. It's off the grid. It's just a really good place to focus and like just do it's fun. There's a lot of hiking and walking there. But anyways, so we were on a walk, like a hike kind of thing, and keep in mind I was like 9, 10. My sister made a card game that was based off of Harry Potter, and we played it that night, and I was like, whoa, that is just like super fun. And so I was like, I should make a game. And I was really into fashion at the time. I did a lot of fashion sketches, and I have like a really old script.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Okay.
I have a
You go.
scrapbook that's kind of in my room. Maybe it's under my bed of like my old fashion designs, and it's just like they're super funny because they were terrible. But I was also like 9, and I had no idea how to draw. And so basically, it was just me and this kind of concept that was just forming in my head, and I used scraps of paper and like Crayola markers to make a game. This is the original prototype. Get a load of that.
Very
That's a
cool.
two.
That's a tutu. Yeah, I'll take out a couple cards here. Here is the original box. I made a box. It's Fashion 101. It says number of people 3 to 6, and then 20 to 30 minutes, and then it says a fun family mix and match game. So I was like, let's just make it like an actual like box. So I made that out of paper.
It's actually three-dimensional.
The bottom part's missing. It was like an actual box. Like it was not very functional, but it's fine. So there were like these are like the original cards. There's like tutu, like long johns, poo skirt. Sorry. And there's just I'm probably gonna look at these a little bit tonight and just be like, wow, that came a long way. Yeah. And then you can just see like this is the new box that we have. My nail just oh no, it didn't.
Yeah,
It
I
has
like that.
a long way since 2018. So
17. Yep.
really? And it would have been like
You're 10.
8 or 9.
No, you're 10. Well, anyways. I know, but you have
Oh,
your
you're right.
birthday
Oh my
yet.
gosh. I can't do math.
It's
I'm
again
so
math. You know, it's
I just had
craziness.
math class. I should be on top of this. But yeah, and then I had like category cards, like just some really fun just things. And it was just me and my game. But the game it collected dust for a bit. It kind of we brought it home and we played it a couple times, but we left it and we hadn't played it for a long time. And then COVID came and my mom got laid off, and then she was like, now that I think about it, your game would actually be like super cool. We should, you know.
Well, can I add something there?
Sure, yeah.
And that is, so it was last summer, and I don't know how I came across this because I wasn't even thinking game. I've had some other entrepreneurial aspirations throughout my life, so I was actually exploring some other ideas. But then I came across an article in the Seattle Times.
Right.
And it was about, actually, I think my mom cut it out for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's right.
Okay.
Anyways, so, and I'm not sure why, but it was just kind of a, human interest article about this woman, a local woman. Her name's Leslie Pearson. and her son Alex, who created this card game. Alex created the card game. Actually, he came up with a name. He's like, I want to create a card game. It's going to be called Taco versus Burrito. And we're going to take it to Kickstarter. And those were the parameters, right? And then she started, kind of, I think probably, drawing out of him like, okay, what's this card game going to be like? And he totally invented this game, and it's done really well. It did well on Kickstarter,
He
especially
made
for a
like
first
$1
time.
million off the game, right?
It sold a lot. I don't know what the exact
That's what
amount,
it said in
but
the newspaper. That's what it said on the article. I don't know.
Maybe. So understanding that most games do not earn $1 million.
Yeah.
I was very much kind of inspired by the story. I thought it was really cool, and they had created it years ago, but with COVID, it just seemed kind of timely. And I was like, oh my God, like
we could do
we
that.
could totally do this.
And even if it doesn't go anywhere, just for fun, And then we were playtesting it with a lot of people, and they really liked it. And then we were like, wait, this could actually work. And here we are. Our first interview.
Yeah, here we are. This is awesome. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Now, did you all reach out to that family in the process at all? Okay.
Yeah.
I totally stalked her. I stalked her on LinkedIn and was like, and she was super generous. She's lovely. She's super smart, really generous with her time. And she got me super excited about it. She's, I explained the game to her. It's pretty straightforward game. Certainly straightforward from the production side, right? It's almost, just cards. So it didn't involve a lot of sort of like engineering meeples and stuff like that. And she was just super supportive, and she's like, you should totally do it. And so like, what, all right, why not? I've never done anything kind of silly or different or, in my life. So
that's not.
Well, I just mean like, I've always, I've been stuck in this kind of corporate, the hamster wheel for forever. And it's kind of hard to extract yourself, and that's kind of like your identity, and it's what you've been doing for years. It's what you're good at. But it's been really fun.
Yeah.
Really, really, for me, like a very steep learning curve, because if you're self-publishing anything, you have to become an expert in everything.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where I feel like I thrive. Like, when you're working for a large company, you tend to be, get pretty specialized, right? But I'm kind of a generalist, and I've just really enjoyed, wrapping my arms and my brain around new things. It's been really fun.
Well, I know one of the things that your family has done also is you've kind of started reaching out more to the community. You're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, and you even have like a Facebook group. Did any of the Facebook group? I know some indie publishers have taken advice from like their community groups and things of that nature in the development of the game as it got closer to finishing, so that way as the people were more interested, there was more chances, of course, of them backing because they were involved. Was there any aspects of that when you all were doing Facebook?
Let me take that. Yeah. I mean, I've definitely, gone out to these groups and asked for feedback on art, card layouts.
My
do we do a
mom-
print and play? What's, if we think about a Kickstarter exclusive, what do backers expect, right? A lot of this is like still super new to us. So I've got questions every day, and it's like all I can do to kind of, you don't want to be spamming these groups, and people are incredibly, generous with their insight and expertise. But yeah, I mean, there's a huge and super engaged community out there that's always willing to offer up their wisdom. It's amazing, because when I think about the industry I used to be in, it was just highly competitive, right? It's almost like you're not going to share your trade secrets or what works best for advertising, or what are the metrics that you use to everybody holds things pretty tight. But in the gaming community, people are just like unbelievably open, and I think with the belief that the more people you can get engaged in gaming, whatever the game, the better it is for everybody, right?
Hmm.
So it's not like people have a super competitive um, philosophy about it, which is really unique and fun and exciting.
Yeah, I think the one thing that is great about our board game community, for the most part, is like you just said, you don't feel that competitiveness. Like if you go to a convention, you'll see different people from Pandasaurus, the Op. You'll see people from Skybound. They'll all be talking to each other. It's not,
Yeah,
oh hey yeah, it's not like, oh yeah, we got this. Oh, we can't tell you what's going on over here because you're a
right.
competition. No, I mean some of these people have worked in different companies. You've got Danny, who I think for a period of time worked for Renegade, then went
Mm-hmm.
over and worked for Gamma, and now is with Pandasaurus, and she is thriving and doing an amazing job. You've got people like T from Haba who started out just kind of enjoying the content and enjoying games, and they truly have turned something in Haba with the convention scene and board games, just making it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is really nice to be a part of this community. It really does make a big difference to be able to be a part of it. You don't see a lot of animosity towards each other. Maybe a couple games draw a little bit of but I
Well,
mean,
people are very passionate about, their
yeah.
likes, their dislikes, and
Hmm.
I think there are a lot of opinions, but it's generally those opinions are generally shared very respectfully.
Yeah.
um, and I don't know. I just, yeah, I think that's right. I think it's a really wonderful community. And I mean, the other thing that it's encouraged me to do is invest in different types of games, right? Like you asked earlier what games we played prior to this, and it really was just kind of the classics, the stuff
Hmm.
that I grew up with. And we've started investing in more, modern games, like Elsa loves Catan, right? And
Hmm.
it's like, who doesn't have Catan? Well, we didn't have Catan.
Yeah, I mean it's seriously, we just got our copy for the first time 2019. I just got into games around 2018. If you can't tell, I've kind of gotten into games
Yeah.
maybe a little heavy. But this is just, I think you're only seeing 3 shelves right now, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's more. There's
yeah,
more.
there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh my God.
seven or eight so shelves. Some of these are stuff that I give away and stuff, and things of that nature, and then um, just
Yeah.
different games that I'll bring. Like I bring a lot of these to like local charity events that we do in the area. So
Yeah.
yeah, for
Yeah.
fun. But
Yeah.
no, so Elsa, tell us, what is it like to see right now your game that you've put time and thought into? How does it feel to have that support from your mother going into this? Because that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, if at my in my teens, my parents probably would have been like, "You're kidding, right?" Um, because I mean, I was a goofball, and you know, I. I couldn't draw very well either. I still can't draw very well. I mean, I'm really good at stick figures, but yeah, I mean, you should see them. You should probably put them in your game. I mean, they're
Hey, there
that
you
no,
go.
please don't. Please don't. I want you to sell your game, not have to worry about that. Um, but no. So how does it feel? What have been some of the feelings about that? Because I mean, I for me, I could just think about it where it's like you have somebody that's saying, I want to support what you're doing. Um,
Yeah.
so tell me about that experience.
My mom has been really, really supportive, and she's definitely helped me keep my head in the game with a lot of this. I've been back in school recently, which has made it kind of harder for me to be more like active in the Facebook groups, Instagram. We even have a TikTok page. Definitely follow it. I think it might be in the link
What,
on the.
TikTok? I didn't know about that.
I will get more into it later,
Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, we have some funny videos up there. My mom, it's really nice having someone who is that, supportive and who's shares the same passion for my game as I do. Um and it's definitely like a team effort. Like I I might be the creator, but my mom is definitely like the manager. She's the head, you know. I Yeah, it's very nice cuz she understands that I'm like school's hard, school's busy, it's time consuming, and she's just really there. She's got my back, which is really I'm really
And every
fortunate.
once in a while, I'm like, "Where's my TikTok video?"
Exactly, right?
Craziness.
No, I mean, she, co-manages our social media. She
Mm-hmm.
does a lot of posting, and um,
And I designed the game, right? Like that's
That's pretty awesome.
she had a very strong sort of vision as far as
mhm.
art went.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, especially sort of early on, a lot of reviewing and feedback of art, and she ran
I ran a
a
few
bunch
play
of the
tests.
the in-person play
Mhm.
tests. Um,
Saved
and then I do all
obviously.
the boring stuff like manufacturing and freight and right like there's just all the stuff that's kind of behind the scenes that needs to happen to get it to go, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's sort of where I'm focusing my effort. There's just a lot of moving parts. I mean, I had no idea. like, like
Yeah.
game creator, it's like you don't really know what you're getting into
Mhm.
until you get into it, but I mean, it's kept certainly kept my brain active and engaged over the last
Well, it's
year.
pretty awesome that you all have done this together, and it's really neat. I think some of the things that I think we've talked about as well, um, that there might be some changes to some of the clothing to be more inclusive of other people. I think that was one of the things that we talked about, which
Mhm.
I think that's really cool because you're taking what you're making and you're making sure that it hits a good broad audience where people can say, I would see myself in that. Now, of course, I'm not going to see myself in a
Well,
dress
you
of any
just
sort, but
might.
I
You
mean,
haven't played it yet,
I
so how
mean,
do you know?
tell
Yeah, I
you what,
mean,
if you hit a certain goal, I will wear one for a live stream, okay, and I will play the game in it. So,
okay,
but you
all
got to come
right.
up. Don't make that a milestone on your thing because you might not hit the milestone because people are like, I don't want to see Chris in a dress. But yeah, but
um,
no, I'll
I mean,
tell you
no,
what
go
are
ahead.
you thinking Kickstarter wise? What is the price point? Have you all been talking about where you want to kind of hit um for Kickstarter? Have you all been discussing that at all or anything of that nature?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I where I'm. This is something I've been giving a lot of thought to. I've been,
Mhm.
I'm kind of Excel spreadsheet, like
Mhm.
kind of living in the spreadsheets and trying to model this out. And it's a card game, and I think people are often accustomed to paying sort of like sub 20, oftentimes
Mhm.
less for a card game. It has a lot of cards.
Mhm.
Right now we're at about 225, and we're probably going to add more. Um, and it sort of contains a tray where you take the lid off the box, and you actually a lot of the gameplay takes place within the tray, so it pushes the dimensions of most card games.
Mhm.
So that drives up costs, manufacturing. So it's probably don't quote me on this, but probably going to be $24 is what we're currently thinking. I've still got a ton of work to do on pricing, freight, and fulfillment in terms of where we're actually going to land cost wise. But I really want to keep it under $25. I think
Mhm.
Yeah.
one of the best.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like the idea of what you're doing with the slanted type style. Like, this
Mhm.
is a prototype, folks. That just so everybody knows, this is of course not final copy. This is not. I don't even have the sweet lid that Elsa was showing off. It's like
I
this is
know. I'm
my Fashion 101 lid right there.
so happy.
Like you're killing me,
Very
Smalls.
early prototype.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
so got the cards all right here, but I do like that it has that kind of feel because when you're trying to navigate sometimes with games, um, it is nice that it's divided and it looks nice. I know I've played some
Mhm.
games from bigger publishers, and I'm not Marvel Champions. Um, and where the cards you're having to seriously sort through, and it doesn't have dividers in it, and
Mhm.
so that can be a little frustrating for a person who's having to gather them all and get them all ready.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
do like the fact that these also have like the different backs to go with it, so it does make it a little
Mhm.
bit nicer. Um, I wish I had this hair on this one card because it looks so nice,
What?
but it's
What
not
is
going to
it?
happen. That's what happens when you have three kids. So that's why I said. That's why I told. That's Elsa. This is what I told my kids. I said, okay, so Abigail, she's my 14-year-old. I said, okay, so then you were born,
It
and then
just
your
keeps.
brother was born, and then your younger brother was born.
Oh, is that how it worked? It just
It
migrated
just yeah, it's
back
just it kept going,
over the head.
and then I just decided to shave it because it was just. Then I had this like clown thing going. There's one side here, one side there, nothing in between. So yeah, I mean, I could have
That's
worked for
a good
Ringling
look. It's
Brothers.
very on fashion, very fashion forward, actually.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know.
who
I'm
knows?
not I'm not the fashionista here. I don't really know,
Well,
but
I mean, my kids will tell you that I am definitely not fashionable at all, or nor am I
the
trendy. So,
Batman T-shirt
I
is
mean, I've
pretty
got bat.
awesome.
It's Elsie, your face says it all.
I'm more of a Marvel girl myself.
Okay, okay, real quick. We're gonna go through this debate then.
Okay.
Who would win in the fight, Iron Man or Batman?
Oh God, we should get Maya in here for this one.
I don't really know much about Batman, but I know they're both like really rich with
Mm-hmm.
like live by themselves. Well, I mean, one of them's like dead.
But what does that have to do with like who'd kick whose butt in a
I don't know. I think I feel like I'm being very much of a traitor to my, you know, my fangirl side, but I gotta go Batman because Iron Man kind of relies on his suit
Mm-hmm.
because it's completely like
a lot of tech, a
technology
lot of tech.
driven,
Oh
and
yeah.
Batman like he could kick someone's butt, and they're both really smart, but probably Batman. I
Oh,
feel
Okay.
really bad for
wow.
saying that,
No,
but
That's
that's
just
good.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you, and the reason why I agree with you is because Batman in the comics, he personally sought out all of the weaknesses to all the other heroes on his own team,
Mm.
so that way, in case he had a contingency plan, in case they ever went bad. So I could picture him
Mm.
researching about Iron Man long before Iron Man even decided to put up a fight. So,
yeah.
so
He'd know his weaknesses. Got it. Yeah,
But if
yeah,
it
yeah.
were against like Captain Marvel and Superman,
okay.
I'd say Captain Marvel.
I now I agree with you. I agree with
Doesn't
you
have
on
a
that.
weak. I mean, Superman's great and all, but like Captain Marvel is like, isn't she like? I don't even know. I've seen the movie. I have not seen any of the Superman movies.
That's
I think
okay.
the
But
only DC movie I've seen
mm-hmm.
is like I've seen the Wonder Woman movies, and then I've seen both of the Suicide Squad movies.
Okay.
That is, and then I've seen all of the Marvel movies because you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Marvel movies are really well done. The
Mhm.
DC movies have not been that great, except for I think Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, which I'm guessing you have not seen yet. So now, after this interview,
Oh,
you and your mom need to just go ahead and just buy the movies right off the bat, or rent them off Amazon Prime or something, and just start watching them tonight. And then we
and
need to have another interview where we talk about it. So
I was also my mom brought this up. Shazam. I really like that movie. That is a great DC movie. I do like Shazam.
I thought Shazam was pretty awesome.
well, it's
Mhm.
got Zachary Levi. I mean, how can you not like Shazam?
Well,
I,
yeah,
the only
And
thing I
the story was good. Like I don't know. I
the
felt
concept
like
was good. I think the Seven Deadly Sins. They're so interesting. I thought that was
well,
really
I
cool.
feel like there should have been more depth to those characters. We didn't really get to see them and understand them very much. It was kind of like, we're these shadowy creature type things. I
Mhm.
think I think had they had more story to them, I would have been more excited about that. But I did really like Zachary Levi's character very much, of a teenage boy who has powers, who is kind of a snot nosed brat style type character, who has to learn how to not be selfish and instead be selfless in the way that he acts towards his friends. But I have to
Mhm.
ask that wizard, seriously, out of all the people you picked this one kid? It's like,
It
are you?
was last resort. Everybody went for the like glowy thing. He was his only option.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I think that's an interesting thought. But yeah, I do like Zachary Levi, which if you liked him and the way his humor is, your mom and you probably need to watch Chuck, which is a series. Yeah, Chuck.
Hmm.
It's a good
All
series. We
right.
watched it with our daughter. It's about a guy who basically gets the NSA and the CIA all of their secrets downloaded into his brain.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
That,
it's
that sounds fun.
it's a lot of fun. But yeah, and he works at basically like a Best Buy, so it just
Nice.
adds a lot of humor to it. But yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Suddenly he's like a international man of mystery, right? He knows
yeah.
like everything, but he's
He's got it all in
wearing like
his head,
the
and
vest
so
and the
oh, it's
yeah.
so good. So the other thing I wanted to bring you on about, and I cannot wait to see this do well and succeed. One of the things that you all wanted to talk about tonight was about the Forgotten Children's Fund. I'm going to pull up the website real quick, and it looks like Rebecca is telling me, or Becky is telling us that we need to hydrate. So if you have a drink,
Oh, I'm empty.
make sure you
Oh,
get a sip.
hold it.
Don't
Thanks,
go empty.
Becky. Mm, thank you. Thank you.
What are you all drinking tonight?
I got a chunk in my water.
Water.
Water. I'm doing seltzer water. I do. I don't know if you have a Kroger in your area. We have a Kroger, and it's a root beer flavored water. So, um,
Ooh, I
yeah.
can't do fizzy water.
Oh,
I
I
like
can
it.
do carbonated. I can do it. I can do like San Pellegrino. I love San Pellegrinos so much.
Mm.
But if you bring like a Perrier, it's like no, because there's no flavor and it's just kind of eh.
Have you
So
seen Ted Lasso?
I have not yet. I need to.
Okay. I don't mean to, but you should watch that because there's some pretty good stuff with fizzy water.
Well, I will make it a point to watch that.
You
Let's
go
go
to
to the
that.
website real quick, and I'm gonna pull it up. So tell me what is. Oh, thank you very much, A&M Game School, for the raid. Brrr, raid, 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 brrr, raid, raid,
What?
raid.
What's going on?
Thank you very much for joining us. We are talking with the creator of Fashion 101, Elsa Brandt, and her mom, Deborah, who is helping make this possible. It's going to be going to Kickstarter. I've got this right here. This is a prototype copy. I'm going to be playing this with my wife and our kids in a little bit. And yeah, so what we're talking about right now is the Forgotten Children's Fund. And I'm going to stop talking again, and I'm gonna let you all talk about it while I navigate through the website. So I'm at the main page, but just tell us a little bit about it and what it means to you all, and something I know, Deborah, you had something that you wanted to talk about with what you're possibly going to be doing with some copies of some games. So
Okay. Well, do you want to talk a little bit about
Yeah, I
what we're
can start us off. So basically, this organization is basically a holiday gift giving kind of process. The Forgotten Children's Fund is it's basically an organization where people volunteer to give holiday gifts and just kind of some like necessities for the new year and just for the winter because it gets cold. They volunteer, and each volunteer gets kind of a family to shop for. So there's this building with a bunch of products. Some of them are here, lean back. We're really orange right now. So basically, they're gifts, and some of them are toys for children. Some of them are, like they're like electric razors and things that adults might find useful. So we shop for like a family. We are given the age, the gender, and some interests that they have, so that we know what we're kind of looking for. And I'm gonna hand it off to my mom.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
and
and we also wrap the gifts.
yeah, you wrap the gifts, and it's for families in need. It is a Seattle-based organization, so it's people sort of in our local area who are struggling, and especially during the holidays. I think you know for many of us, it's a very joyful time and full of you know happiness and gift giving, and the truth is there are a lot of families that can't afford to put presents under their tree, for example. So yeah, I mean it's a lovely organization in that they, they take donations from retailers and individuals, and then yeah, like Elsa was describing, sort of this experience where, as a volunteer you get to sort of personalize a set of gifts for them. And if you look on the website, I mean, it's really, I mean, jackets and bicycles. I mean, really neat stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of games and toys, and I think they served, like last year, or maybe on average, 800 families and 2,900 children in the area. And it's, we've volunteered there for a number of years, and we just feel really, passionate about their mission and trying to bring joy to everybody.
Yeah.
Over the holidays. And for our Kickstarter campaign, our pledge levels will offer the option to, it's like, if you want to support the campaign, you want to support Elsa, but you don't have a kid in the target age range, or, or you just, you're, even play games or whatever, you can still pledge and then donate that gift to the Forgotten Children's Fund. So
Yeah.
that's how we're sort of tying it into our campaign to do some good in the world.
I like that. I also like the fact that this all started with a child leaving a letter to Santa in a
Yeah.
restaurant. This is it. What's it called? Is it Francisco?
Francisco or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this guy, I don't know if it was, I think it was the owner, and who went on to found this organization, was just the child wrote a letter, and it was to Santa at the North Pole, and
It got lost. It didn't end up there, and I think it just made its way to this guy, and he was like, oh my gosh, this is like so sweet and so sad though. And then he got the idea to start this organization, and it's done really well.
well, and the child was, he said something along the lines of, my mom told me that you couldn't find your way to our house last year. So he wanted to make sure that Santa knew exactly where he and his family lived. And, um, and, what these kids, they, often have, are get, their parents can't afford to give them anything. Right. So,
Yeah.
it's like you as a parent, and my heart just bleeds, because it's like you're trying to come up with the reason that Santa forgot about them. Right.
And everybody deserves the opportunity to.
Yeah, they
Get
really
that.
do. They really
Yeah.
do. I think it's a beautiful thing that there's an organization like that that's doing this, and even outside of the Christmas time, it shows on here that they've got like a kind of like a little ranch, um,
Yeah.
where they do horse riding and cowboy experiences for kids with special needs.
Mhm.
That's pretty awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool that an organization like this is giving back to the community, and it all started with a kid leaving his letter to Santa in a restaurant, which that's kind of neat. I who would have thought? And said this thing's been going on since 1976. I guess is when the child left it. Yeah, says what Craig wrote a letter to Santa Claus in December of 1976. That letter never got delivered to Santa's North Pole, but it did reach a restaurant in Seattle, Washington called Francisco's. Now I want to go to Francisco's. If that restaurant's still open, I want to go eat there because that's
Right.
pretty awesome. I
Right.
mean, for this guy,
Yeah.
for the owner, was I think it was Francisco. Um, yeah, that just I think it's really cool that people do that. That makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
And I mean, imagine the commitment that it took for him, and the just, to organize something of that magnitude. And it started out small, and it's gotten bigger and bigger every year. And it's just like, there are just so many families that are in need, and especially right now. Seattle has an enormous homeless population. It's really heartbreaking, and it's only gotten worse since people have lost jobs over the last year. So it is a really heartwarming organization and mission that they've embraced and found a way to deliver some, at least a little bit of happiness to these homes that are struggling.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, and I love the fact that you're tying in something that you have that you're working hard on, and you're tying it into giving back in some way to your community. I think that's really cool. That's very admirable of you all to do that. So that means a lot. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, so when can we be looking, uh, Elsa? When can we be looking for this on Kickstarter? When can we start finding this really cool game on a Fashion 101 on Kickstarter? What date are we planning? I know sometimes that's a harder thing to do sometimes, planning ahead of time because I'm never good at that. So, um, but tell me what are you thinking? When are we going to see
We want
this?
it to go live.
Yeah, so I don't think we really have a set date. I think that the Kickstarter. Okay, well, we really have to think about when is, our final prototype gonna be done.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
we're so orange. So I usually my mom is kind of dealing with the Kickstarter kind of type of stuff. I've done a
Mm-hmm.
little help on that, but that's really my mom's genre. But I think that personally,
You think we're ready? Should we do it?
not
Well,
quite.
let me. Maybe I can answer that because we actually.
Do we
I
have
mean,
a
it's
set?
literally changing daily. We were hoping to do it this month, and there's just too many moving parts, and especially with manufacturing and freight costs, they're skyrocketing right now, and I don't feel like I've got a good handle on what our costs will be once that sort of settles. Um, during I don't know how familiar you are with kind of the situation with manufacturing and shipping from overseas, but it's just gone through the roof during COVID and then the Panama Canal thing. And so, I could probably, we could delay it for a few weeks, but then we get into summer and some travel that we're planning to do. So I'm thinking that we delay till fall because
That's too late. I think you're wrong, Mom.
so anyways, we have some talking to do,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
summer's hard and the kids are home and we like to take off on weekends and it's a lot of work. And we've still got a lot of work to do in terms of building our community.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that's that's another big thing that is I sort of underestimated not only the importance of it, but the hard work that goes into doing that. So I'm just trying to give ourselves a little bit extra time so that we feel really confident when we go out the gates, um, and can serve our backers as best we can. Because the worst thing to do is promise something and then not be able to
Yeah.
deliver it.
No, I understand that one very much. Yeah. So with it being in the fall, then are you thinking of at least trying to hit a convention or to maybe try to talk up the game at all? Or
I would hope so. I
Mhm.
would hope so. As you know, it's just there's been nothing of that sort over the last year. So absolutely. In fact, actually, Becky, who's who's I think still on the call, we're attending our first event in 2 weeks, which is sort of a neighborhood pop up game expo that she's putting together for local game designers. And I don't know exactly how many game creators we're up to right now. If Becky's there, she could probably comment back on that. But um, uh, so absolutely,
Becky says 12.
12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anyways, that'll be our first sort of in-person experience, and Becky's just done a ton of hard work, and we're super excited for that. And then, yeah, depending on you know what's going on convention wise, absolutely, especially if we can, if there's some local opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good route to go because you're getting your name out there, you're putting yourself out there, and it's starting to get safer. It's not all the way there yet, but
Yeah.
I mean, even still, you can have a mask, you can have maybe some hand sanitizer nearby, if you're gonna have
Yeah.
people play with cards, and you maybe just have like a prototype copy with you, so that way, because it's gonna get touched. It's gonna get touched, and
Yeah.
you want to try to keep your keep your cards, your final prototype maybe in better condition without it
Yeah.
being like constantly fingers and
Yeah,
germs
I
and all
do
that.
think that there
So
are ways to go about it safely, and especially, as our vaccination rate
hmm
rises, we're doing pretty well, have a pretty high vaccination rate in the Seattle area. But of course, people then travel, and so there's, obviously just a lot that goes into making those kinds of decisions. But I mean, if our public health officials decide that that's something that's okay to do, or there'll probably be some limitations on in terms of capacity and
yeah,
thing. We'll follow those guidelines.
yeah, and
Um,
I think it'll be really cool. I think for you, Elsa, it's gonna be a lot of fun for you to be like, hey, take a look at my game, play my game. That's
yeah,
kind of cool. I think it'll be a lot of fun, and that extra time, um, that does make it possible for you to just get your name out there more, which is great, because I think that's especially with a Facebook community, you want to build up as much as you can into it. I know I'm in there now, so of course I'm going to link this interview up there later, and I might link up a playthrough here or there. So I'm beyond excited about that. But yeah, so what we're going to go ahead and do then now is we're going to hop off. Folks, if once again, if you want to go ahead and donate to Forgotten Children's Fund, you go to forgottenchildrensfund.org. You can donate to that. Remember, if you don't have to be physically present to make a difference in a charity, you can actually just go ahead, click that PayPal link, make the donation, and make a big difference. And then we're going to be back here in a little bit. I've got Beth's coming down, Abigail's going to be down here, Daniel's going to play. Heck, we might even get Elijah in here. He'll probably come in just kind of acting all crazy, psychotic. He's the youngest one. He's ADD
nice.
like me. And yeah, and then we're going to be playing Fashion 101 with everybody. And we're going to see how great at fashion I am. Probably not that good. My daughter's in the background shaking her head saying no. No, not very fashionable at all.
These things tend to happen when dads play the game,
Well, I think, I mean,
especially if you can kind of roll with the theme.
Yeah.
I've got some cool, like I've got some styles and skills.
I'd
I
like to
look
see some different, something a little more fashionable.
I
You
look
like, what do you got? You got some like
I got a
some bow
hat.
tie or
I've got a
funny.
hat. I've got
Nice.
I've got a cool hat, and I've got shorts on. And
There you go.
I've got a
Very
shirt.
stylish. That's I cannot wait. This will be good. This will be good.
But we're gonna have a fun time, folks. Remember, if we can gather at the table, we can do the same for a good cause. And I want to say once again, thank you to Elsa and thank you to Deborah for coming on tonight. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you all later.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.